one of the most famous actresses in TV history. She played Mrs. Cunningham on Happy Days. She was on The Gilmore Girls, as you reminded me. She was on Brooklyn Bridge. She's also does voiceover work. I've heard her voice when I'm watching Handy Manny with the kids. She's Mrs. Lopart. How you doing, Miss Marion Ross?
Good morning. Good morning, David.
I got tired just listening to some of your credits. You're awfully busy nowadays, aren't you?
Well, you have to hang around a long time in order to have all these credits, you know.
Your film debut was quite an accomplishment in 1953. I mean, you worked with Ginger Rogers and William Holden. What was that like?
Oh, my. You know, in those days, I was under contract to Paramount when I was like about 22 years old. Can you believe that? I came from a little town I came from Albert Lee, Minnesota. And nobody told me I couldn't do that, you know? So I just decided I would become a movie actress, you know. Wow.
And it was that simple.
In those days, Paramount was such a big deal. C.B. DeMille was there. Martin and Lewis were there. When you went into the dining room, you know, for lunch, it was filled with stars. Marlene Dietrich came swooshing in, and James Mason would be sitting over there. It was really, really, I think that era is gone forever.
What was it like, going in there? I mean, were they friendly to a young actress, or did they kind of say, you know what, you're trying to go after my job?
They treated us like not yet, dear. No. Not you. Not, you know, you have to wait your turn. You have to wait. Although, one morning I'm up in makeup, and this girl is next to me, and she gets up and up and up and up, and it was Audrey Hepburn. And she was just my age.
Wow.
And she had come to do Roman Holiday. And I thought maybe I should go and kill myself.
She was one of my favorites. But her neck seemed like it went on forever.
Her legs went on forever. She was the most gracious, charming person I ever saw in my life. So I went right away and got 2 candy bars and ate them right away.
Did that make you feel better?
No, it made me feel terrible.
And then you, in the 70s, you worked in the early 80s on Happy Days. I mean, that's where I remember you from. Growing up, I would turn on Happy Days, watch with the family, and now I'm watching with my kids on the hub, and they love Mrs. C.
Were you a rerun kid?
I saw the originals and a rerun kid.
I saw the originals.
But my kids want to know, where's Richie now? Because now they're at the episodes where Richie left, and they always want to say, where's Richie? When's he coming back?
Oh, I love that. That's so great.
Now,
what a blessing, huh? I feel I know all of you intimately.
Well, that series struck me as an offshoot of American Graffiti, the movie, and here we had this lovely show. What was the competition like for the role of Mrs. Cunningham?
Oh, no, none at all. You know, they said, well, you'd be good.
That simple?
And you know, I knew a lot of those people. I knew the casting woman, and the part was quite minimal, really. It was things like, oh, Howard, oh, Richie, you're not eating.
You could do that, huh?
So I had just been doing a play at the Globe Theater in San Diego. I'd been doing Summer and Smoke by Tennessee Williams. So this was like, I could do this in my sleep, practically. Then I kept charming the writers so that they would make my part bigger, and they did. My part grew beautifully, I thought.
You had 3 kids when the show started, and then one of them just mysteriously disappeared.
We had actually 3 different actors play Chuck. We had 3 through the years. We what a careless family, you know. We would have lines. We would say to each other, "Listen, if you go up in the attic, look around for Chuck if he's still up there."
Now, when you signed on for Happy Days, any idea that it would be as successful as it became?
Oh, never. Even after it closed in '84, we had no idea that it would now go on cable and just on and on. I mean, we truly are icons. You know that?
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing to me, especially 45, 50-year-old guys. They always know who I am. There's a little age group that doesn't recognize me. Like 11, maybe? Yeah. I don't know. How old are your children?
Mine are 8, 7, and 6 now, all girls, and they moved it. Now it's on a 9 o'clock Chicago time, and you have to go to school. We want to stay and watch Happy Days. We want to see Happy Days. I mean, they love it, and you know what? It seemed like the cast generally loved each other.
Oh, we did. Now, is it on Hub? Is that what you see it on?
It's on the Hub. We see it at night, but it's also on Nick at Night, I believe. It's all over.
In the mornings.
No, at night.
I thought it pretty well exhausted itself. No, we became, of course, a very close family, and I'm just thinking I haven't talked to the Fonz in a couple of weeks. Usually he calls me quite a bit.
I always thought there was something between Mrs. Cunningham and the
Well,
Fonz.
there was, yes, a little bit.
Just a little?
I mean, yes. I remember the one show where you two were dancing together. I think it was ballroom dancing, and you guys were incredible.
We did the tango together. Fabulous.
Are you ready for Dancing with the Stars?
I'm too old. It could kill me.
Cloris Leachman did it.
Florence did it. I think it nearly killed her.
You're in better shape than Cloris.
And Florence Henderson did it.
I know. Well, and I asked the Fonz. I said, "How come you don't do Dancing with the Stars?" And he said, "Well, they ask me, but he is a very good dancer and very good improv dancer, but he doesn't seem to want to do it."
You would think it's ABC. Happy Days was an ABC program. It's the least that Henry Winkler might want to do.
No, I'm surprised that he doesn't. I really am, because can you imagine the Fonz? He'd be just fantastic.
Yeah.
It's thumbs up, A.
My dear Tom Bosley came from Chicago.
Yes.
And he was a big Cubs fan.
Oh, he was. He really was. It's so funny. One year, we had a softball team, and we played all the major ballparks all over the United States. And we went to Chicago. We played on the field where the ivy is. What team is that? The wall has ivy on it.
Oh, Wrigley Field.
Yes, that's where we played. We played there. And then what we would do, each one of us, when we were in a different city, we would host the cast and we would all go to dinner.
So what position did you play?
I was Rover. It was like, say,
Marion, go over here. Marion, go over there.
Get over there. Over. I could hit, though, and I could hit.
Okay.
You never hit your kids on the show.
No.
This
but
is the
what
baseball.
I would do, I would hit. Then I would run with my arms, both my arms way up in the air, and I would think, they're not going to want to hit that fine old lady. They're going to overthrow. And I'll get on.
I mean,
that's pretty smart.
With Ron Howard, could you believe how successful he's become, and also Henry Winkler? I mean, from actors to directors, producers.
God, no. We knew they'd do well, but not. I mean, Ron Howard is the biggest man in town. You know that.
And why does he put
his daughter?
And why does he put you in some of his movies? I know Tom Bosley always asked him, "You know what? I'm looking for work."
I know that made Tom mad. I said, Ron. I mean, Tom. I don't expect Ron to put us in his movies. I was in Grand Theft Auto.
Wow.
Very early. If you find that movie, Grand Theft Auto,
we'll check it out.
And I think
he was so famous.
And wasn't Henry Winkler in one of his early movies too?
Oh, sure. He was in with Michael Keaton.
Night Shift.
Night Shift. In fact, they wanted him to play the Michael Keaton role, but he chose to play the other one. And then Michael Keaton became a big star.
Yeah.
And then you had Scott Baio join the cast, and basically he went on to do Charles in Charge and Scott Baio, Single, and 45.
I know, and he's grown to be such a good-looking man. He always was good-looking. Yeah.
So when are we going to get a reality show about Marion Ross and her wild life?
I don't want to be on a reality show.
You're busy. I mean, I turn on Handy Manny, and there you are, Mrs. Lopart.
I love it because your little girls watch Handy Manny.
They watch Handy Manny. They're learning Spanish. They love the show. They love Mrs. Lopart and your son.
And how about SpongeBob?
Yeah, we can't forget SpongeBob, can we?
You know what? My wife will let him watch SpongeBob. She's not a big SpongeBob fan. She likes Handy Manny. She thinks it's more tame and calm. SpongeBob's a little too.
I think SpongeBob is more for college kids, isn't it?
That's what it seems like. It's like the new Looney Tunes. I mean, you watch these new Looney Tunes, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is adult humor in here.
Did you ever see on Family Guy? And then I did also. What's the other one? American Dad. Family. These boys called me. They said, "Would you like to be on the show?" I said, "Oh yes, sure." And they said, "Do you have to see the script?" I said, "No, that's all right. I don't have to see the script." So I get there, and what it was the religion of the Fonz, and Howard and Marion are in bed together, and the Fonz is at the door, knocking on the bedroom door, and Howard says, "I need a little help, Fonzie." And the Fonz goes over and gives him a little tap around the waist, and then, because he had a little erectile dysfunction, and I say, "Oh, thank you, Arthur." so I tell you, next time I said, "Let me look at the script."
Now, if you had seen the script, you still would have done it, though, right?
I think so.
Okay. Now, Betty White is successful with Hot in Cleveland. I think we need to have a series for you. Are you interested in doing a series?
I am, and I've done a couple Hallmarks lately, and I tell you, television is changing so much. I have trouble keeping up with it. You know, my daughter, who worked on Friends, Ellen Kramer, my daughter, she worked on Friends, and she's a writer, and then she worked on The New Adventures of Old Christine as a writer, and then now she has her own show that she created called I Hate My Teenage Daughter. It's on Fox.
I've seen it.
And it's been, I think it's on sometimes. I don't know what the story is, but how about that?
Is she going to cast you in the show?
That's not based on her life, is it?
I wonder. Anyway, if you look up my son, do you want to know about my son?
Of course.
Sure.
All right. His name is Jim Meskimen, Meskimen. And if you look up on the computer under Jim Meskimen, then Shakespeare, or YouTube, go to YouTube, then there's a whole list of stuff he's got.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Whose line is it anyway?
Yes, and Shakespeare, and he does his impressions. Then he does The Night Before Christmas, doing 26 different actors. But when you watch, first of all, his Shakespeare, he does the soliloquy from Richard III, imitating. He'll blow you away. He went viral on it there on YouTube. Anyway, those are my kids, huh?
I think he did the alphabet of impressions, our producer's telling us.
Yes, he did.
You have to be so proud of your children.
Gee, I wonder where your kids get their talent from.
I don't know. And they saw show business up close, so they know it's not a picnic, you know.
So we need to get a series for a sexy 80-year-old redhead. What do you think?
Well, that's how Betty White, that's the phenomenon of Betty White started.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody started this on YouTube. Even she keeps shaking her head saying, I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah, she just had her 90th birthday celebration on television and all that stuff.
I know.
You think Ron Howard or the Fonz would catch on and say, you know what? Let's use Marion for something.
Well, I love, Parenthood. Ron is connected to Parenthood. Do you see Parenthood?
Yes, I have.
It's a wonderful show.
Do you ever feel like you've been typecast as the mother, or everything they want you to do is the motherly type?
Or the grandmotherly type now?
Well, that's what we are, So, no, I don't feel, because did you see me on Nurse Jackie?
Yes.
Yeah. So I've got a whole bunch of stuff I do. So I never feel typed. In fact, I'm going to go to Toronto in the spring and do Lost in Yonkers. That German, yeah?
Yeah.
There's another German Jew. I love that.
Yeah, I mean,
Take a little of your Brooklyn Bridge accent with you?
Well, a little different because she was Polish.
Okay.
Polish is more Slavic. This is more German and Philly. Not
Okay.
so nice.
Very guttural.
what nationality are you?
I'm Scotch-Irish.
Oh, I'm Italian-Irish.
Are you? Well, that accounts for it, doesn't it?
That's why I like. That's why I like Happy Days. All the Italians. I mean, I thought Henry Winkler was Italian for the longest time.
Well, of course you would.
Well, I'm
On
Jewish, and I
that
thought he was Jewish for the longest time, so it worked out well.
And I loved Al.
Oh, wasn't he wonderful?
Oh, he was absolutely incredible. But you know what? He basically kept that image, and he would not do anything that was against that image because you know what? He seemed like he was a very wholesome guy.
He really was. Yeah, he really was. He wouldn't be on our ball team.
Why?
I don't know. He never. You know, we traveled all over the world with that ball team. We went to the East German border and played ball with the 3rd Infantry. We went to Okinawa and played softball with the U.S. Marines. Can you believe that?
Pat Morita, he went to Okinawa, but that was in the Karate Kid.
Yes, he did. You know, we had some funny line in Happy Days where he said something about Pearl Harbor, and they said to, what was his name in the show?
Arnold.
Arnold. Yeah, they said, did you know about Pearl Harbor? Did you know about any of this? He said, I did. I didn't know, but I can keep a secret.
What was your favorite moment of your career?
That's hard to say, isn't it? That is so hard to say. Maybe it's still ahead.
I was going to say, it may not have come yet.
I think very likely it's right out there somewhere. I could win the Academy Award. No? Duh.
Okay. So what else do you have coming up?
I have that play coming up. I'm going to redo my one-woman show about Edna St. Vincent Millay. And then I may do another play in Kansas City at the New Theater around Christmas. That's a lot of stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, that'll keep you busy.
And my daughter's coming over pretty soon this morning with her 2 babies.
Oh, congratulations.
2 little, a 1.5-year-old and a 4-month-old.
Yikes.
Do you still do diapers?
Well, barely.
No, you're just supposed to.
I'm a movie star.
That's right. You're just supposed to spoil them.
Right.
And so tell Henry Winkler when you tell him to give me a call. I'd love to talk to him also.
Have you never talked to him?
We've never talked to him. I would love to talk to the fans.
Well, I'll give him your number, okay?
I really appreciate it.
Do I have his number? Do I have your number?
We'll give you your number off the air.
All right.
Thank you very much for your time, Ms. Ross. It was a pleasure talking to you.
All right. I had a good time.
Thank you so much.
Too.